go on to our final speaker, who's Cara Dansky. So Cara Dansky is from the USA. She is a lawyer and president of the US chapter of WDI, Women's Declaration International. She previously served on the board of Women's Liberation Front, WOLF, from 2016 to 2020. And the title of Cara's talk today is A Win for Women and Girls in San Francisco. Welcome, Cara.
Thank you. San Francisco was a huge win for women and girls. The US chapter had our first convention in Washington, D.C. last September, and we decided to bring our message to the West Coast. And so we went to San Francisco, and I'll say, heading up to the convention, we worked very hard to develop a really positive, friendly, collegial relationship with the hotel where we were planning to have our convention. And they really liked us. They liked working with us a lot. And so a couple weeks before the convention, we heard from them that they were starting to get email messages and phone calls and complaints about us. They were getting complaints from people who were saying that we were a bunch of fascist bigots and that we were a hate group. And they were very curious about this, and they wanted to talk with us about it. And so we had very candid conversations with them, and we explained that we are about women's sex-based rights. And they were kind of shocked that people were calling us a hate group. And so we spent a few days being very terrified that they were going to cancel us, because as many of us know, all around the world, when women have gatherings to talk about our sex-based rights, it's par for the course for venues to cancel us. And so we started scrambling and thinking, we're going to need a backup plan, and what are we going to do when women have booked flights and hotel rooms, and how are we going to handle this? And as the days went on, it became clear that they actually loved us, and they had no intention of canceling it. And the hotel staff, our main point of contact, put us in touch with the head of security. And Megan Rose, our vice president, and I had multiple conversations with the head of security, and he loved us. And it just became clear that they weren't going to cancel us. They were going to be there for us. They wanted to support us. They love our message. And the head of security was planning to have security guards there the whole time to make sure we were safe. And that's what they said over and over again. Our priority is to make sure you have a positive meeting and that all of your attendees stay safe. And he even went so far as to say, my goal is to have a female security officer in every meeting room throughout your convention, which was fascinating, because not only was that a really good idea, but it also made it very clear that he understood our message. Now, that ended up not happening because it wasn't possible for staffing reasons, but the fact that that was his intention told us right off the bat that they were with us. So that was really, really good. So a few highlights. We had just over 100 women attend from all across the US, and I'm happy to say we had some guests from Germany. WDI Germany was there, and we were very happy to have them. Our presentation topics included a wide variety, including reproductive technology, women in academia, intersectionality, women joining forces across racial and ethnic and religious differences. We talked about lesbians and lesbians' role in the women's liberation movement. We talked about lesbian-only spaces. We had breakout sessions on desisted women and detransition women. We had Laura Becker, who is herself a detransitioner. She came to give a breakout session. So we covered a wide variety of topics, and it was really great. We got very positive feedback. Women just had a really good time. I'm sorry to say that few of the sessions were able to be recorded. We did have some sessions recorded, and we hope to be getting those out as soon as possible. But we had some challenges related to our audio visual, and so we weren't able to record all the sessions. So I'm sorry about that. So what happened was we had a very successful discussion on Friday evening of the convention. We talked about radical feminist tactics. Leah Keith from Wolf was there to talk about the strategy of nonviolent direct action. Lauren Levy was there to talk about consciousness raising in the second wave and how we might benefit from consciousness raising in our movement today. I gave a talk about legislative and legal advocacy in the women's liberation movement, and it was very peaceful and fine and positive. And then Saturday morning, and we knew there was a planned protest on Saturday morning, so we were ready for it. The hotel, I would say, was somewhat ready for it. They had their security on high alert. And at some point in the mid-morning, the protesters showed up. And for a while, they seemed to manage to keep themselves calm. And they seemed to want to portray themselves as the peaceful civil rights good guys against the mean, hateful bigots, which was us. And so they were able to control themselves for a period of time. But then Trantifa showed up in all its glory. And what they did was essentially seek to disrupt and absolutely terrorize our meeting. They made scenes outside, and we'll have a few clips of what they were doing outside. One guy brought a hammer to the protest and actually took the hammer to the hotel's main sign outside and vandalized it. The hotel manager, who was very much on our side, he did what he thought he was doing, which was his job, to go out and prevent vandalism to his own hotel property. And when he did that, someone punched him in the face. The police were able to arrest the guy who took a hammer to the sign and vandalized the sign. I don't think the man who punched the hotel manager was ever arrested. Eventually, they actually stormed the hotel, and they were able to get into the hotel, and they tried to come directly to our meeting. And they used both the main entrance and some alternative entrances to get into the hotel, and security was fantastic about repelling them. And eventually, security had to stand at the main entrance to the hotel in order to let in legitimate hotel guests while repelling the protesters. And so we really think that our opponents peak-transed all of the hotel staff, all of the hotel security, and all of the members of the public who were just there to be legitimate hotel guests. They made such jerks of themselves that they showed themselves exactly for who they are. And initially, hotel security had 2 members of the San Francisco Police Department on hand, but they eventually had to bring in more, like, I think there were around 10 or 12 eventually.
We're here. We're here. Don't fuck with us. We'll fuck you up. We're here. We're here. Don't fuck.
Outside for most of Saturday. As I said, several of them tried to infiltrate the hotel, and security was able to to keep them out. Late into the night. I don't know how late. I went to bed. But the point here is that we just carried on with our meeting. We just ignored them. We let security do their job, and the police, and we just carried on talking. And we had amazing, amazing conversations. Our purpose was not to engage with the protesters at all. And so we think they did a very fine job of peak transing pretty much everyone in the vicinity. Okay, so then on Sunday, we carried on with our meeting in the morning, and it ended just around lunchtime on Sunday, and we proceeded to have a very peaceful training session in the tactic of nonviolent direct action to prepare for the action on Monday, which I'll explain in a minute. But then one of the protesters from Saturday managed to actually check himself into the hotel as a guest. So the man was part of the protest on Saturday. I think this is in the evening on Saturday at some point. And I don't know who got that photo of him, but someone did. And he was one of the men, protesting our meeting. And this guy checked himself into the hotel on Sunday. Have you got the next? Hard to see, but so it's unmistakably the same guy. He has long blue hair, and he was wearing a black dress. And we saw him walking around the hotel. He mostly just wandered around the hotel. Other than in this moment, this is when he came right to the outside of our main meeting room. And we don't know what he was planning to do, but we immediately got security involved. And the man behind him is security, taking him out of the area outside of our meeting room. So at that point, he managed to behave himself and not terrorize us, but he did wander around the hotel. And he had friends. There were a couple of other men in dresses, and they just wandered around the hotel. And the issue was not that they were attacking us. They weren't, but it was scary because we had no way of knowing what room or rooms they were in, what floor they were on. So then those of us who stuck around for Sunday evening adopted a policy of just not being alone in the hotel. Many of us didn't have much to worry about because most of us were indistinguishable from ordinary hotel guests. And we didn't think that these guys would go so far as to just start randomly punching legitimate hotel guests, although who knows, they might have gone that far. But some of us did have something to worry about. And I frankly was terrified that if any of these guys were on the floor where I was staying, I didn't want to be in the empty hallway with them because I don't think that they would have hesitated to punch me. I had the same concern for Lear Keith. These guys know us by name. Every time they follow us around the country, attacking us at our events, they always name me and Lear, and they often put photos of us up on their protest materials. So I was really legit terrified of this guy. But it was fine. We had a buddy system, and we didn't let anyone be on any of the floors alone. And it was fine. And then for reasons we don't know, he was escorted out of the hotel Monday morning. And it was pretty funny because I went to check out and I saw him standing at the hotel guest, seemingly arguing with the front desk. And I have no idea what they were arguing about. I don't know if he did something to justify them kicking him out of the hotel. I don't know if he just didn't want to pay his bill. I have no idea. But one of us, a woman named Lauren, saw security escorting him out of the hotel Monday morning, which was great. And then he showed up at our Monday action. So I just want to say quickly about our Monday action. We were at City Hall to do a nonviolent direct action. We stood there. We all gave speeches in support of lesbians in particular. And the police were very effective. And the same protesters showed up to protest our City Hall action. And the next clip I just want to show quickly is several clips that a woman named Lauren put together specifically of me speaking. And I was doing what I was doing very deliberately to make a point, which I think you'll be able to see. So Bernadette.
Will use the liberal state to protect themselves.
Hello, San Francisco.
What do we want? Fascists.
So I just want to point out, we are here giving speeches. We are very calm, we are very happy, and these people are screaming at us like the lunatics that they are. Teresa,
That's why you're a fucking fascist!
about race culture. These people could not be more proud to support race culture right now.
Fucking victim!
Okay.
You couldn't be a bigger fucking victim!
All right, we're at a lesbian speaking event.
Just wanted to let them show themselves for who they are once again. We were there to stand up for lesbians and for women and girls, and they called us fascists. So I think we did a pretty good job of peak transing San Francisco. So the reason we do our actions in the way that we do, we try to look uniform. We have some very beautiful banners. And we choose this tactic very deliberately. We understand that we're putting ourselves in danger. We do. We understand that. And that is not for everyone. But we're going to keep doing it. There will be more actions. Our next one is in Portland, Oregon on November 19th. And I just want to convey that the energy and joy and hopefulness were palpable. And women who attended reported that to us. Everyone who attended both the convention and the action felt like it was a really, really positive experience. So, yeah, we're declaring San Francisco a win for women and girls, including lesbians.